Well, it was nice while it lasted, right? After a record amount of time with gas getting cheaper, prices have been inching up a little bit. And then came news from some of the biggest oil producing countries, that they're going to start to cut back production, which could mean we'll soon pay 10 to 30 cents more a gallon. Right now, AAA has the national average at around $3.87, up 4 cents from yesterday. Here in New York State, the average is quite a bit cheaper. They're looking at under $3.60 a gallon. The Buffalo area, though, is a little more than the statewide overall at $3.70. So why this warning about a big price increase ahead? Well, OPEC Plus is a group of countries that control more than half of the global oil supply. They decided to cut back on production, the largest cut since 2020. If you lower the supply, increasing the demand, prices generally go up. And keep in mind, gas was already getting a little more expensive. Out on the West Coast, an unusually high number of refineries have shut down for maintenance or other issues. And even though Hurricane Ian didn't stop production in the Gulf, any future storms could dramatically impact operations and the overall market. Now, the U.S. is still the largest oil producer in the world with about 12 million barrels a day, but this is a global market. So we asked Patrick DeHaan with GasBuddy.com today, is there anything that the U.S. can be doing right now to avoid the expected sticker shock?
Not a whole lot. The president doesn't control oil production. U.S. oil producers do based on oil prices, and I'm sure there will be more incentivized with prices going up to produce more. The administration hasn't done a great job at incentivizing or pushing oil companies to increase production. In fact, quite the opposite. Somebody, threatened you. Certainly you might have a different take on things. And I think the president has been a little bit hostile to the sector. So they're a little reluctant. They have cold feet on investing billions of dollars, knowing that the president is trying to steer the country away from oil. So I think that's a lot of the reason why we haven't seen a big jump in oil production.
This is, of course, bad politically for the president with the midterm elections just a month away. He has ordered another 10 million barrels to be released from the strategic reserves next month. But OPEC Plus is cutting back 2 million barrels a day. So do the math. It's not going to add up to much what we can do. So what are the president's options?
When an American president reaches out to countries like Iran and Venezuela, it does reek of a little bit of desperation. Americans do not like high prices. It's been a bad year. Gas prices have been very high. Americans are basically, communicating that high gas prices are a turning point for them, and they may consider voting for somebody else. So I think the president is in somewhat of a corner when it comes to oil prices, trying desperately to bring them down, but unable to really do much.
So, of course, none of that sounds like good news for drivers. And keep this in mind, OPEC Plus meets every month. If the group decides to cut back production even more come November, Patrick says we could see another hike in gas prices right around the holidays.